I can't hear the music.
Wait, cancel that.
Boom! Yo! God! The thing goes up. Skinny keep up. And the boom boom. Yeah! Boom boom boom. Boom boom. Yo! God!
Welcome to Fantasy and Chill Week 6. I'm your quarterback again, Ryan Keller. We're joined by fresh back from Mexico. We got Britt Crawford.
Hola.
Hola. Joining us again, we got Ethan Hargrave.
What's up?
And then, as always, running the sound from behind the glass, producer Matt.
Hey guys, Trubisky going off this week.
Just like last week, right?
Great call there, Matt.
He didn't look bad, though.
Bad team.
Best play of the game was a fake punt. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead.
Hot Thursday night takes.
Start like we do every week with our fantasy studs.
Fantasy
studs.
Thanks, Matt. I mean, you're a little late there.
I got it this time, though.
What are we paying you for?
I'm getting paid.
Yeah, the check's in the mail.
First guy on the list, we got quarterback of your Houston Texans. Once again showing up on the stud list, Deshaun Watson. 261 yards, 5 more passing touchdowns, and added 31 yards on the ground. And I believe he's up to quarterback 3 now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the GOAT.
Disgusting.
Whoa. Calm that down.
And I mean, you have to feel good about him the rest of the season as being a top. I said top 10 starter the rest of the way last week. I mean, is he a top 5 starter the rest of the way now?
Man, okay, I said last week, if he scores at least 18 points, he's a lock it, set it and forget it quarterback the rest of the way. Deshaun Watson said, Ethan, fuck it, I'm going to double it. And he did. 35 points, something like that. Holy shit. I mean, he's not the GOAT. I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but he's a baby GOAT, okay? He's a little baby GOAT. He's looking good. Looking good the rest of the season, man. Really.
Yeah, I mean, he played pretty solid. He's got a few tests coming up here with Seattle, and maybe Cleveland's D can hang around a little bit, but we'll see.
I mean, you don't
9
think
touchdowns and 1 pick, though, in the last 2 weeks. That's pretty impressive.
you don't think Kansas City's not a decent enough test to prove that he can play, make big throws? This guy's vertical.
The thing that concerns me was, I mean, he did have 5 touchdowns, but the last 2 were absolute garbage time that meant nothing to the game. Kansas City was just running their prevent defense out there. But, I mean, the throws, he made to Will Fuller for that touchdown to, like, what is that, about 50 yards probably in the air. I mean, that was on the run. That was a Johnny-esque, should I say.
Oh, yeah. Johnny, yes, what?
Yeah, Johnny.
Get out of here with that.
Britt, are you going to provide anything tonight, or are you just going to kind of hang back?
What do you mean? I just said I liked him. I mean, 9 touchdowns, 1 pick. I don't know. It's just too early to tell from this guy. That's all I'm saying.
All right,
I like what he's doing, though, especially with his feet. He's impressive.
I just wanted to make sure you were still with us over there.
I just came in with the 9 touchdowns and 1 pick.
Yeah, great stat, man.
Beautiful.
Don't forget the 30
it's best
rushing
in the league.
yards.
I'm almost positive.
I mentioned the 30 rushing yards.
Okay, just wanted to reinforce that. He's going to get you at least 20 or 2 points rushing every week. That's decent.
Man, I think he's got a really solid floor, and his ceiling is obviously very high. So set it and forget it, boys.
I mean, you got to like him next week against the Browns to put up maybe close to another 30 again.
Absolutely.
The biggest thing is, too, he's using his weapons. Like, he's using Hopkins. He's using Fuller. Like, he's getting them the ball.
And it's opening up the running game. We've seen the resurrection of Lamar 8-point Miller.
Yeah, he's
Holy
looked good
shit.
the last couple weeks.
I mean, some of that might have to do with Foreman coming in there. And
I still think Foreman should be the lead back.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But if you're a Lamar Miller owner right now, you got to be kind of happy.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty content. He's Frank Gore. I mean, he's steady.
He's better than Frank. At this point, if you still have that take about Lamar Miller, then you're just a hater, because the last few games he has looked very good coming out of the backfield. Hit some big runs, catching a few passes. I mean,
yeah, still only one touchdown though. That's what I'm saying. For like a
You
first
stupid.
tier running back, only one touchdown.
oh yeah,
I mean-
Deshaun Watson's got all of them.
I know, but I'm just saying. What has he had? He hadn't even had a 80-yard rushing game yet. I don't know. He's
it's-
okay out the backfield too, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's trending in the right direction. So, kudos.
Okay, our next stud, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, the surprise team kind of this year. We got Carson Wentz, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, and I think he had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, like right off the bat. And he's kind of done it for a few weeks now. And is this a guy that maybe is a viable fantasy starter the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he's quietly becoming maybe not top 5, but he's getting up there. I think that you could safely play him against most anybody and be happy. I mean, feel good about that decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wentz is really taking the next step. I mean, he's the number 6 quarterback right now as quarterbacks go. And I mean, he just put up a 30-burger, so 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's the real deal.
He's doing it so quietly too. It seems like like there's not a whole lot of Wentz hype that I'm seeing, but it could just be that I have blinders on, just worried about my little world.
Yeah, I think the Eagles as a whole are kind of flying under the radar, no pun intended. Not really hearing much about him.
Yeah, I mean, the past 3 weeks, he's had 13, 16, and 8. Pretty impressive.
Maybe they got all their ducks in a row now, and things are going the way that a lot of people predicted them to look from the start of the season. So, good job, Eagles.
Yeah, that NFC East is kind of wide open, and they're the front runners right now.
Man, the Giants, dude, they look. Oh, God bless. God bless. R.I.P.
I had the Giants in my Survivor League, just thinking, man, no way they can go 0-5, right? And well, they did it.
And lost their best player. That's the tragedy.
Half their team died.
Here's a question: who's worse now, the Browns or the Giants?
I mean, I'm still
going to go with the Browns just because they have Eli Manning. But
for some reason, I'm always a Giants believer just because they always pull some shit out of their ass and make a playoff run. But, I mean, now that Odell's out and Brandon Marshall, I mean, are they winning more than 3 or 4 games?
I mean, you know what I say about Eli. Odell good, Eli good. Odell's not good right now. Odell ain't there. So Eli, no.
Odell did. Eli did.
Exactly.
What's funny, though, is I feel like the Giants and Jets kind of reverse roles. Like, everybody thought the Jets would be throwing the season to get that number 1 pick, and then the Giants were supposed to be like this championship caliber team and just full circle.
Yeah. It's a shame, too, because I think they feel like they just now started, getting a little bit of a running game together. But, oh well, whatever.
All right, speaking of running game, let's go to our stud running backs. And first guy is my boy. Britt was this close to getting him from me in a trade this week, but that is Leonard Fournette. 28 carries, 181 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And, I mean, he's a beast out there. He was calling the Pittsburgh Steelers players over and say, come try to fucking tackle me. I'm going to truck you.
I got him in another league, so I'm pretty happy as well, okay?
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure of beating Britt this week in our little fun league. But he did have Leonard Fournette. I'm looking at the score, and I'm like, okay, he dropped. The score was 108 to 116.
Yeah, I put up 108 and fucking lost.
Yeah, well, you were playing against me. Anyways, so I'm looking at the score, and it's like fourth quarter. I'm like, okay, Pittsburgh kind of contained Leonard Fournette. He had a decent points, and all of a sudden he rips off this like 70-yard run or something. Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean,
I'm not gonna lie,
really?
I thought I had it in the bag.
Oh, dude, he looked fierce out there. He wants to hit people, and really, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had this guy all wrong from the beginning of the season. Shame on me. I mean, he looks like the motherfucking truth.
Do y'all think he can keep this production up, though? I mean, Bortles had 90-something passing yards.
Yeah.
Like, their offense is terrible. He is the offense.
If their defense plays as well as they've been playing, they're going to be able to stay close in these games and run the ball. Dude, he's getting 24 and 28 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the volume is never going to go away. They are going to run him into the ground. They don't give a shit.
No, they've had so many bad running backs since MJD pretty much. They finally found a guy that can run their team around and have a good defense.
Bortles actually had less attempts than Antonio Brown had targets.
I mean, look at that game, though. 5 picks on Big Ben, two pick sixes.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, their defense is just ridiculous. Right?
Their defense, their secondary is ridiculous. They're actually, I think, worse in the league at rush defense. But
Are they the ones who got the guy from the Texans?
Yes.
Bouye?
AJ Bouye.
Yes, because
is he playing pretty
we
well?
had to pay Peroche to be our
Jalen,
quarterback.
I saw a stat. I can't remember what it was like.
Ramsey's a beast.
Some pass defense stat, just with the way they cover their receivers, and Jalen Ramsey was number 1 in the league, and AJ Bouye was number 2.
It's sick. It really is. It's sick. If they can get ahead in the game, they're pretty much gonna. It's a lock.
I mean, what's crazy is Antonio Brown had 154 receiving yards. Like, he still had a decent day.
Yeah, but still.
Okay, next guy on the list. I mean, the reemergence of Melvin Gordon, 20 carries, 105 yards. Then he added 6 receptions for 58 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. And it was good to see him get going because he had a couple off weeks, and we know that he's going to be the focal point of that Chargers offense. And, I mean, they did just play the Giants, who were winless. They were also winless, but, I mean, you got to be feeling good if you're a Melvin Gordon owner.
Yeah, I mean, like his rookie year when he didn't – I don't think he had a single rushing touchdown. I was a non-believer, I'm not going to lie. And last year, I still just didn't think he had it. But this year, I think he's slowly proving like he is maybe a top 5 running back in the league right now. He's ranked number 4 right now in running backs.
Yeah. I was in the same position last year where I was like, somebody took him in the 5th round, I think. And I'm like, yeah, take the guy – or maybe it was in the 5th round. That's like the 3rd round. Like, yeah, go ahead and take the guy that had as many touchdowns as I did last year.
Exactly.
Sounds great.
Scary.
So he has this breakout year, and you're like, damn. I guess he's making up for the year before. This year, he's just solidifying his spot. He has good upside. I think they're just now figuring out how to utilize him right. With the new regime change they had and everything. Looking solid. We'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, I mean, he has 5 touchdowns in as many games, so that's pretty damn good.
I think it took him about 2 years to hit the
nut button.
He's still here in spirit.
Whose voice was that?
That
That's
was
awesome.
Turpin from last
Oh
year.
my god. Yeah, dude, he's got to come up with his own material, man. I'm getting sick of this. I need to write this stuff I'm coming up with. Because he just, every time I turn around, he's taking it.
He's a taker.
He's like Littlefinger in Game of Thrones, man. Just always whispering behind your back.
I don't know if that translates, but okay.
Just taking your ideas, man.
Anyways, let's get to our wide receiver fantasy studs. First guy is A.J. Green, 7 catches, 189 yards, 1 touchdown. And I believe he had a 77-yard bomb in the first quarter, like first 5 minutes of the game where no one was even covering him.
Huge.
And I'm not going to lie, it got me a little worried because I was playing A.J. Green, and I did not like seeing a 20-point first quarter from him.
Yeah, in standard leagues, he's the number 1 receiver right now, I believe. I'm not sure about PPR. I didn't look into that, but
PPR is 3.
3. I mean, he is. He stays healthy. He's just fucking good, dude.
What's crazy is he fell in the draft too. I remember, like he was supposed to go like 7 or 8, and he didn't go till like very late in the second round.
Yeah, well,
I was a non-believer too.
He's kind of got that Julio, deal where you know what you're gonna get when he's on the field.
You know he's gonna get hurt too at least once a season.
You know he's gonna get hurt at least once. So
Just
I mean,
like
I don't
Julio.
think he's quite as bad as Julio, but yeah, like I had him 1 year and I loved it hated because I didn't know when he was playing. So
Yeah, he went number 13 in our league, and he would definitely go first round if we had a redraft.
Oh, 100%.
yeah,
Okay, the next wide receiver was a little tough for me. I could have gone with DeAndre Hopkins, but if you watch the game, I mean, those last 2 touchdowns were so fluky. So I went with T.Y. Hilton, who had the volume, 7 catches, 177 yards. And, I mean, it looks like Jacoby Brissett is finally learning these last few weeks that, look, just give the ball to T.Y. Hilton and everything will be okay.
It's a shame it took him this long to figure out. I mean, you just got to give the boy the ball. Let him go. Let him do his thing. And one thing I like about T.Y. is he really doesn't take unnecessary hits. So you feel comfortable about having him on your team and not having to worry about him getting injured the rest of the year. I usually try to grab him whenever I can in drafts, or I have been the past few years, just for that fact.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with him is he gets chunks of yards, like 25 yards a catch versus San Francisco. That's pretty nutty. Like, every time he's getting a catch, it's a big chunk of yards, too. He may not be getting touchdowns. I think he's got one on the year, but he's getting you yardage.
He will get you some points.
Yeah.
Give the man the ball.
Actually, a top 10 wide receiver right now.
Yeah.
I think, Matt, weren't you a little scared at the beginning of the year? He put up 4 and 5.
Oh, I still am a little scared. I mean, his 2 games he's gone off is against Cleveland and San Francisco.
Okay, but
he does have Tennessee next week, so
I think we're all a little scared at the beginning of the season, period, just because he had Scott Tolzien passing to him.
And I mean, if
we saw that turned out.
That's gonna be a different team if Luck comes back.
Yeah, well, I would temper expectations about Luck. Really,
are they 2 and 3 right now?
No,
they beat the Niners and
yeah, they are. They're 2 and 3. Damn, if they can just hold it together.
they beat the Browns, right?
The Browns, yeah.
Yeah, Browns 31-28, and the 49ers both by 3 points.
That is true. Okay, so instead of going into fantasy duds like we normally do, we're going to go into a buy low, sell high segment. So what if I told you that Amari Cooper had 13 catches, 118 yards, and 1 touchdown? That's a pretty good week, right?
But it's not for the week, is it?
But that's for his 5 games so far.
Ouch.
Oh.
I mean, he still wouldn't even be the leading scorer for this week if you put his entire season stats together. I mean, I thought that the first couple of weeks this was going on, I thought, okay, this is just a fluke. But once again, he had 1 catch for 8 yards. And I realized that they got the backup in there. But the games before that was Derek Carr. And I don't know what to say about Amari Cooper at this point.
I think you hold on to him, honestly. Hold on to him. Don't play him. Derek Carr is going to come back. He's going to be the same Amari Cooper.
I actually tried to trade for him today. And
yeah, if it's for the right price.
Okay, well, they were asking for Doug Martin.
Okay, no.
You're out of your goddamn mind. Like, no way. Like, I'll give you Fat Rob for him right now. You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah. I mean, if I got him, I'm holding on to him. Everybody, I've said it before on this podcast. I'm a big believer in his talent. It's really disappointing where he's at. He's got to turn it around whenever Derek Carr gets back. At some point, you got to think that he's just saving it up for the end of the season. Maybe Josh Gordon part 2 or something.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him too this week, mainly because I can afford to get him and just stash him on my bench until he eventually gets it going. But even then, I don't know if I would ever really start him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Turpin has him in our league, and he just lost Odell Beckham. So
I just don't think you can.
Turpin's kind of fucked in our league because he had Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham, and my next buy low candidate, Jay Ajayi. So he's
rough life.
I think he scored 50-something points this week. So
one thing with Cooper, though, is if you want one stat that makes him look decent is he's still number 8 in the league in red zone targets. So
yeah, well, I think 3 of them were all in that one series.
Well, could be, but
they're going to put it together.
Does it say how many drops he has?
47. Actually, I think he has.
21.
21.
Oh, yeah, that's too far off.
Turpin just left so I can talk some more about these guys because I don't want them to know my plans here, you know. But my next buy low candidate is Jay Ajayi, and I've been working hard with Turpin to try to get one of these 2 guys from him for just absolute shit because Turpin has to have guys to throw in his lineup right now that I could afford to lose. And Jay Ajayi, is this now 3 or 4 weeks in a row where he hadn't done anything, but they just the offensive line coach just resigned because of the whole white powder incident. And he was the run game coordinator. So maybe we'll see. I mean, if anything, I don't know if it'll be better or worse, but it'll at least be maybe a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say probably be a little bit better. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
His first game was so promising, though. 28 touches, 122 yards, like a pretty nice game. And then it's just all been downhill from there.
But, I mean, these guys, they're going to get it going at some point, right? I mean, Jay Ajayi still had 25 carries last game. He just only turned it into 77 yards.
He did. I mean, the Dolphins' offense as a whole just looks terrible.
Yeah, I think, well, it starts at the line. Everything starts at the line. So
Jay Cutler is not very good either.
Jay Cutler is fucking awful.
I mean, they took the guy from the booth practically. Okay, he was already on a Geritol plan, and they decided, hey, let's pull this guy out and throw him on the field last second.
I really don't understand what Matt Moore did to Adam Gase, but why is Matt Moore not playing? Last year when Tannehill got hurt and Matt Moore played the last 4 or 5 games, he was like top 5 in quarterback rating for those last 5 weeks.
Yeah, he's definitely capable.
Yeah.
Better
but
than
when
Jay
you go out there
Cutler
and spend that money, you know what I'm saying?
Let's not forget it's Miami, Florida. So, Florida.
It's a crazy place.
Emphasis on Florida.
Thank you.
All right, my next buy low candidate, running back. He's had one good week, and he's still getting the volume. He's just not producing. And there is a guy behind him that kind of pushes him a little bit, but that's DeMarco Murray. So maybe if you catch a DeMarco Murray owner, he's a little bit frustrated with the last few weeks, and you can swoop in to make a deal. Because I think he's going to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely on my list. I would definitely buy low on him. The only thing that kind of scares me a little bit is just because Derrick Henry, like, you always have that fear of him taking over. But with the amount of, like, usage Murray is getting, I think it's safe to trade for him right now.
Yeah, for some reason, you figure the Titans would kind of hand it over to Derrick Henry, but the Titans are very reluctant to do that, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't get it. I know DeMarco looks like he still has something left in the tank. I think really this is a case of Mariota, his health. I think when he gets back on the in the game, when his hammy starts feeling a little bit better, whatever, it's going to open things up in the running game. Because right now you got Matt Castle behind center, and it's. I mean, come on. What are you going to do? What are you game plan for here? You're not worried about Mariota or Matt Castle. You're not worried about his athleticism. You're not worried about him making, top shelf passes. Okay, it's Matt Castle. He's a backup for a reason. So I would look forward to that more than anything else.
Okay, I know there's some more buy low candidates out there, but I'm going to just wrap it up with those 3. So if there's any buy low candidates you can think of really fast off the top of your head, guys, you're targeting, throw them out now.
Yes, Mitch Trubisky.
I got a good thing for you, Matt. He's not owned. You can just go pick him up.
Hey,
that's the ultimate buy low.
Maybe
Exactly.
buy low on Todd Gurley after that performance.
Yeah, buy low on the second ranked running back. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt, drop him now.
I mean, he's got Jacksonville. Are you starting him?
You stupid.
Am I starting Todd Gurley, Britt?
Under 10 points bet right now.
What?
Under 10 points for the week at Jacksonville.
Oh, do you want to try to make that $100? You already lost to me once this year back.
I think it's over 10 points.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'll take that bet in a heartbeat.
Over 10 points. What about over 14?
We'll bet a brewski.
Give me over 25.
25?
Whoa.
All right, a brewski.
Yeah, shove it up
One
your
whole
ass.
brewski.
Whoa, Keller.
Islands.
Calm down, Milk.
Islands.
Okay, so my sell high list, my first guy is Aaron Jones. Filling in for the Packers, they needed a running back. He provided 19 carries for 125 yards and a touchdown. And I mean, Montgomery will be back either this week or the next. And even though I liked what I saw from Aaron Jones, I just feel like the Packers like what they have in Montgomery, and Aaron Jones is definitely going to take a back seat.
If you're a Montgomery owner, you've got to be a little worried though. I mean, tell me you're not a little bit worried. Do any of you guys own Montgomery at all?
Turpin does.
Okay, well, that's why Turpin
I
was
think Sam
arguing with me.
Sam has him.
No, Turpin does.
We got to an argument, me and Turpin, last week about Aaron Jones and Montgomery, and I think Aaron Jones just showed everybody that he's more than capable and actually a good fit for Green Bay. Now, I think that just means that whenever Montgomery comes back, he's just going to be in a timeshare. The Jamal Williams dude, or whatever his name is, he's going.
Yeah, he just got left in the dust.
Yeah, I mean, really, because the guy can catch. We saw he had an amazing fourth quarter catch, I think, in that one drive that won him the game. He can run inside. He can run outside. He's got speed. He's got good vision. I mean, what else can he? He's a complete back to me. Where I think Montgomery's more of like a comfort thing. He knows the system probably a little bit better. If I'm a Montgomery owner right now, it's only bad for you, really.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like what I saw. I mean, 19 carries, 125 yards. Like, I know it was the Cowboys' defense, but I think he's very promising. And I mean, like right now, if I was a Ty Montgomery owner, I would be scared. I think I'd be if I tried to buy low on Ty Montgomery, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, next guy, Britt, this is going out for you. We got Will Fuller the 5th. Now, he does have 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks, but only on 5 catches. So can you find some pitiful soul to trade Will Fuller to? You trying to do that?
I'm actually looking to shop him right now, actually.
You know, Turpin needs a wide receiver.
He does. He needs a lot more than that, too.
He needs a little bit of everything.
This may sound a little stupid, but I actually dropped him last week.
After he scored the 2 touchdowns?
After he scored 2 touchdowns, yes.
I mean, would you do
detail why I did, but I did.
Would you do Carlos Hyde for Will Fuller?
If I was Turpin?
I would take Carlos Hyde in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would not trade Carlos Hyde for Will Fuller.
I'm just saying, not a very good week. 8 carries, 11 yards.
Look, the problem with doing that is you're targeting one of Turpin's only healthy players. Why would he trade him?
Tom Montgomery's coming back, hopefully.
He's not healthy. Okay, next guy on the list, Duke Johnson. He's had over 12 points in 3 straight weeks. And for whatever reason, the Browns really like him. And not only is he getting a couple handoffs, but they're throwing it to him a lot, lining up in the slot still. So if you are a Duke Johnson owner, this can't last, mainly because he's on the Browns. So I would definitely be shopping him around.
Or can it? Because basically he's their entire offense.
On a shitty offense.
On a shitty offense, yeah, but nonetheless, he's a centerpiece of an offense.
I think it's time to drop Crowell, though.
Yeah, speaking of the Browns, didn't we have a Crowell bet this week? What was the terms of that again?
I'm not
wasn't
sure.
here.
VOD has been deleted.
Oh, shit.
I believe Matt
it was something like 20-plus points.
No, it was only 13.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Hey, he did get his highest, yards in the this season. I'm pretty sure, but he just he gets 1 touchdown and I win. I win the bet. If he could catch a ball, I win the bet.
But
he had like 67 yards.
He had 60.
68, maybe. So I'm short, killer.
Yeah, sorry. So touchdown, you still lose because that's only 12.
Yeah.
He had 2 receptions for 7 yards. So that 3rd reception would have put him at 13.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was sitting there looking at my roster. I had to make room. And I'm like, in my main league. And I'm looking at Crowell, and I'm like, should I do this? We got to break up here, Crow. This isn't working.
Yeah, the problem with Crowell is their fucking coach keeps saying they want to run him more, and they never do.
He got 16 carries, though.
Matt, he's bad.
Hey, he got 60 yards on 16 carries. That's not terrible.
That's not terrible, yeah.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, moving forward, I mean, they did bench Kaiser for Hogan, who looked a little bit better. Maybe they'll be going with him moving forward. But you can't be happy about this. Is probably his best shot at having a high volume game or any impact at all with the game flow that they're accustomed to seeing week in and week out. No, just drop the crap.
Yeah, I mean, he
I
plays
think the
Texans
Browns,
next week, so.
they will be able to score this week. I think with the Texans with their defensive players out, but I don't know if it's going to be running the ball because Texans secondary is awful. I'd be throwing it.
Yeah, but we're still talking about the Browns here. Big Duke Johnson game?
Duke Johnson game. Is he a must start this week?
I think he is.
Definitely a flex play.
Put it on the board.
Flex play, Duke Johnson. Plus or minus, let's see, over under on 12 points.
I'm going to go under.
I'm also going to say under there.
Basically, you're asking, is he going to get a touchdown or not?
Yeah.
Basically.
Unless you're playing PPR. PPR, I think he goes over.
I think that's logical. I think it's logical, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the under.
Okay, last guy on the sell high list, a guy kind of been the focal point of the podcast all season, and that is Cam Newton. That's 2 good weeks in a row, and I thought he was going to go up to Detroit, and I mean, that Lions defense isn't a slouch, and he's still put up, I think what did he have, almost 30 points again?
Yeah, speaking of pro, I wanted to eat some. I was so confident about that matchup, I actually picked up the Lions and played them against Carolina. And
that you did.
It did not turn out very well for me. I was watching the game, and it's like the Lions forgot, I guess, in their meetings to mention that they actually have a tight end.
Yeah,
Ed Dixon went off that game, dude.
185 yards.
I know we're going to talk about him later, but I just got to say, like, it was the most blatantly open.
He was wide open on all those long plays.
I think before the half he had like 120 yards already, something like that. A tight end, not named Gronk.
I think you're getting at least 30 yards on those catches if you were that wide open.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, it seriously had shades of the Patriot game. It really did. But
do you think that Cam Newton is he finally healthy? Was that the issue, or did something just click?
I think he's getting healthier. I mean, it looks like he's actually making throws that he should be making. I mean, obviously he's hitting wide open receivers. So maybe he's I know that whenever I had my shoulder surgery, and still to this day, like throwing a baseball, I'm still kind of hesitant about really just letting myself go on throws. And I think that it becomes less of a physical issue and more of a mental. I don't want to go through this surgery again because it's a big deal, man.
I think Cam Newton is just analyzing the routes better.
Well, and I mean, he did that. He got 27 points without running the ball a lot.
Maybe he conferred with that reporter and she helped him out a little bit.
Maybe.
Oh, Lord.
Maybe, but yeah, he balled. I mean, he balled out. I feel like I'm just gonna not say anything about Cam Newton the rest of the way.
Sounds good. I'm done with Cam Newton. But my other question I wrote down for him was, do you trust him? I guess we kind of answered that, but do you trust him the rest of the season? We know he's capable. He's put up big numbers in the past. 2 weeks in a row now. Is he a guy that you would feel comfortable with as your QB1 for the rest of the year?
I think until he proves you wrong, proves otherwise from here on out, I'd say yes. I will say this, though. Historically, the Panthers have, for whatever reason, beat the Lions like 5 out of 6 times or something like that. 6 out of 7 now, I think. So I don't know if it's just like a personnel thing or a scheme thing or what. A bad matchup, but I guess we'll see this coming up next week.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you have to trust him. I mean, 34 and 27 in consecutive weeks. I think you roll him out there again. He's a top 10 quarterback right now.
All right, top 10 quarterback going forward.
Put it on the board.
He'll finish top 10 at the end of the season.
Ooh, now that's a bet right there. I mean,
really?
I don't know if I agree with that one.
It's currently
put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
Currently, he's what?
Quarterback 8.
Oh, I didn't know he was that high. Maybe.
There's not. I mean, who can you name that you'd think would do better than him?
Alex Smith.
LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean, that's the number one guy right now.
Yep. Okay. Let's go ahead to week 6, and we're going to start off with our potential high-scoring games. And the obvious one is probably Lions at Saints, just because anytime the Saints are playing a home game, it's going to be probably a high-scoring game. But the other game I have circled, which I think personally will be high-scoring, is Buccaneers at the Cardinals. So we're starting all of our Bucs and Cardinals this week. Are we in agreement with that?
I'm not sure about Cards, but Bucs, yeah, I mean, I think Dougie's going to be doing the Dougie in the end zone here.
Dougie looked good in his first game action last week.
Yeah, I was very pleased as a Dougie owner to see him do his Dougie stuff. Looked great. I mean, he was. I was kind of disappointed by the way that they didn't have him out on the field in the fourth quarter, like they probably should have. But I think it's all systems go from here on out. I mean, he looks fantastic. He really does. I'm expecting huge things from. I'm going to say 150-2. Does that sound okay? 150-2 on the Cards.
It's a little optimistic.
Oh no! It's going to happen. Watch.
I was trying to trade for him actually.
Over under is 44.5 in that game.
Take the over. Book it.
I mean, I've already had 3 trade offers for Dougie already.
Who are you getting offered?
Bullshit.
Like what?
Okay, let's see. I had a Keenan Allen offer.
That Keenan Allen's pretty good.
That's enticing, yeah.
No, okay, come on. But I already have.
You overvalue Doug Martin. Though. You think he's that muscle hamster of like what was it, 2014?
I think he can be though.
He's on an offense that needs his run. I mean, Jacquizz Rodgers was putting up decent numbers, and I think we saw a stark contrast between Doug Martin and Jacquizz Rodgers, who only got 3 touches, I think, on Thursday night. But we'll see moving forward, but I feel very confident about him.
Okay, how about that Miami offense? Is it going to get going at Atlanta? The Atlanta Falcons defense has not been that great so far. I think they're like defense 27 maybe. Am I just pulling that number out of my ass? I know it's somewhere around there.
Hey, well, wait. We didn't talk about the Adrian Peterson trade to the
Cardinals. I meant
meant
to bring up for the Cardinals. Who is the running back to own now? Now that David Johnson's gone, you got Chris Johnson, Andre Ellington.
Oh no, Chris Johnson got cut.
Oh, they cut him? I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I mean,
not Chris Johnson, but are you going with Andre Ellington, or do you trust Adrian Peterson? Does he have anything left in the tank?
I think you wait. If you got a spot on your bench, just snag him just in case. But I think if you really can't afford to drop anybody, just wait.
I'm wondering if he's going to get upset in Phoenix too, because they run a ton of empty back sets.
Yeah, but surely they'll give him more carries than he was getting in New Orleans.
Yeah, they have to.
I'm gonna say he's most likely an upgrade from CJ2K.
I'm pretty sure Carson Palmer's like on record to break the attempts record for the year.
Yeah, right now he has actually his yardage. He's second in yards still. Guys.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
1,573.
It's just he's being forced to throw because they're always down.
Yeah, they're. How disappointing is that defense right now, man?
Yeah, I'm always pretty big on the Cardinals every season, and I was expecting a bounce back year from Carson Palmer, which he is doing that. The offense looks better. Granted, it's good as it can without David Johnson, but that defense was supposed to be something special, and it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, it just hasn't clicked for him yet.
Disappointing, very disappointing.
Okay, so let's go back on to that Miami Dolphins. Can they get it going finally at Atlanta, a very vulnerable defense? Do we think any chance that Jay Ajayi or Jay Cutler, anybody gets it going for Miami?
Yeah, I'm starting them this week. I think it's going to be a shootout there. They might be able to put up over 21, hopefully, but I can definitely see some touchdowns from Miami.
21?
You're starting Jay Cutler?
No, not Jay Cutler, but Jarvis Landry. I'm starting him. Jay Ajayi. Okay. Jay Cutler, you can't trust him. I just think he's going to run into some touchdowns, hopefully.
Yeah, Parker got hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, that's another one on Turpin's team.
I think he's going to play, though, this weekend.
I mean, I heard Ajayi's actually dealing with a knee issue. He's been dealing with it for the past year or so. So
yeah, it's just where you drafted Ajayi, I think you have to still play him.
Well, yeah, you got to still play him, but you can also have that attitude about Amari Cooper. Look where you drafted him.
Yeah,
you're not playing him anymore.
That's falling in love with the cards. Okay, don't ever fall in love with the cards.
But I just think that's because Derek Carr got hurt, though.
Like I said earlier, at least the volume is still there for Ajayi. He still had 25 carries last game.
Exactly.
I mean, as a team, they're gonna try to ride him. So we'll see what happens when they have an offense that's not somehow dictated by cocaine in one form or another. So I mean, and pregnant hookers.
Whoa.
Hey, that's not an accusation. Okay, that's.
Kind of sounded like it.
I'm pretty sure that's factual. I'm fairly certain.
So I also have the teams on bye highlighted this week. We have the Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks, Buffalo Bills, and Cincinnati Bengals. So that's with Dallas and Seattle, that's two quarterbacks for sure that people are probably starting. So you're going to need some fill-ins there. And Buffalo and Cincinnati have some big players too. So in this toss-up and waiver wire section, just kind of be thinking about that. Guys you're going to have to replace.
Yo, just as a side note, this week should be the week that Zeke meets his final legal hurdle. So, I mean, I still think there's only a 10% chance that he has to serve any suspension this year. But it really will fall down during his bye week. So, fingers crossed.
Feeling a little nervous?
I mean, okay, a 10% chance of anything means that there's a chance of it happening, right?
Yeah, but did you give that 10% chance, or is that a confirmed 10%?
You're sweating like a whore in church.
I mean, from everything, being involved in Zeke Gate or whatever you want to call it, this whole drama behind the scenes.
They're not going to do it.
I mean, okay, one side of me says that they can't do it. It's not going to happen this season. And one side of me says that, the Sith Lord Goodell is going to somehow pull some puppet strings and this shit's going to fall down on me.
Do it.
Fuck you, man. But, I got contingency plans. I feel fairly comfortable with what I got right now that I can make it through till he gets back. But, God damn it. Don't do this to me now, Goodell.
Be just like him to pull that, though.
It would. That's the reason why I'm kind of nervous. Other than that,
I think it's out of his hands, though, isn't it? It's not him deciding anything.
It's in New York now.
It's all
true.
Always in his hands.
It's legal system, man. I won't go down this rabbit hole, but I feel fairly confident, but still, All
right, so let's get into our toss-up section here. So first, quarterback toss-up. These are two guys that are definitely owned in your league, but who would you rather start this? We got Kirk Cousins at home versus San Francisco, or Jameis Winston on the road at Arizona?
Oh.
I'm taking Cousins. At home, San Francisco, Cousins all day.
I think, I think Cousins has really been looking good. I'm going to say look out for Terrell Pryor this week. I think that they kind of during the bye week, I bet you they got together and said we didn't get this boy the ball a little bit, but he was looking good before the bye, anyways.
Yeah, he had the bomb that last game they played, but we just talked about that Arizona defense being disappointing, and Jameis Winston is a guy that can. He might throw a couple picks, but he'll definitely air it out.
Strictly from a quarterback perspective, I think that you'd have to go Cousins.
Yeah, I think I'll lean Cousins there too in that matchup.
Yeah, I just don't trust Winston.
Okay, so we got
could run all over Arizona too.
That's true. So that's 4 agreements for the first toss-up. Let's see about this next one. Now, this next one is definitely I'm taking a look at this one because I have Marcus Mariota, who he's questionable with the Monday night game, and I would feel very nervous if I still had him in my starting lineup before then. And last week I picked up Eli Manning to fill in for him. Definitely not playing Eli anymore with those injuries.
No, sir.
So 2 guys that are available in our league that I'm looking at are Carson Palmer versus the Tampa Bay Bucks at home, or Jacoby Brissett at the Tennessee Titans?
I think I'm going to roll out Carson Palmer right there. I mean, Tampa Bay's got the 30th ranked pass defense. I mean, Tennessee's got the 29th, which is who's Brissett going against. But I still feel more comfortable with Palmer just because they're going to throw the ball.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel that the much safer pick is Palmer. I feel like he's guaranteed to get you at least 14. But Jacoby Brissett, I think, has the higher potential. He could go off for a 30 burger.
He can use his legs a little bit.
Yeah,
exactly.
He could get a rushing touchdown. He's got his skill set is actually not. I really like his skill set, but I mean, just based on what's been going on this season, Carson Palmer.
Yeah, basically, it's do I want the guaranteed 14, 15 points, or do I want to go for that big money chance to gamble?
Yeah.
I think I have to agree with you all. I want to pick Brissett so bad, the fucking brisket, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I want to. You never know how the Adrian Peterson's effect is gonna change Arizona's offense.
Surely not in the first week though.
They came out and said he's a starter.
Damn, so. You never know.
I bet Ellington still takes the first handoff.
Put it on the board. First handoff.
Who has more yards? Who has more yards from scrimmage, Peterson or Ellington?
I'd have to say Ellington with the receiving yards.
I think I would say Ellington too.
But Peterson has a better chance for a touchdown.
Yeah, that is true.
Wait, who scored the touchdown first? Assuming that David Johnson comes back. Adrian Peterson or David Johnson?
That's probably a pretty good bet.
I mean, surely Adrian Peterson, right? Just one.
I mean, he doesn't have a touchdown yet.
Give me a 1 yard carry.
No, does he have a touchdown?
I don't think so.
I mean, we'll see. Dude, I think he's only had like 20 carries all season.
No, he's got no touchdowns.
I mean, but hey, he could prove me wrong.
The dude's a freak, so, I mean, you really can't count him out until you see it.
Yeah, true.
Okay, let's go to some running back toss-ups. Are you going with, assuming he plays, I'm not going to say he's healthy because I don't think he'll be 100%, but assuming he plays, you're going with Ty Montgomery at Minnesota Vikings, or a guy that had a big week last week, Buck Allen versus the Chicago Bears at home?
I'm going Buck Allen. 21 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown at Oakland, and they're going to be at home playing Chicago. I'm taking Buck Allen.
Is Ty Montgomery even playing this week?
Yeah, I didn't even know.
They're saying he's going to play.
Okay, if he plays, I can see this as an easing in deal. So, I'm not gonna. I can't go with Montgomery. I just can't.
I can't either. After what Jones just said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to. I mean, I'd go with Allen, I guess. Right now, just purely based on that.
I mean, he's got Alex Collins there too, though.
Yeah, Alex Collins. I mean, he had some pretty nice gashes for 10 yards, 11 yards, but you can tell they do not trust him. Inside the 20s in the red zone, they don't trust him yet. So
yeah, I haven't seen the Packers offense look like that with Aaron Jones in there. Like, it was just effortless. It seemed like they were just able to move the ball whenever they wanted.
He is what they need. He
is exactly what they need.
He's an actual running back.
They don't need another wide receiver in the backfield. They need an actual running back in the backfield. And really, Montgomery should be the change of pace back. That would be the best formula.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell Montgomery if I have him right now.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to sell him after he's been hurt, though.
True, but I mean, there might be an offer out there.
Possibly.
Going with Buck Allen as well. I mean, I can't go against him.
I mean, that's your boy, so I already knew that.
Yeah.
Fall in love with the cards. Wait. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah.
All right, next one. Not only is this for this week toss-up, but kind of a rest of the season deal because they're so close right now. I don't really know what the team's doing with these two. So you're going with Jonathan Stewart or Christian McCaffrey. The Panthers are playing Philly this week, but this is kind of more of a rest of the year question. Which one are you going with the rest of the year?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I own McCaffrey. And I mean, it's been a kind of a roller coaster. He got up to 13 points, but then the only reason he was viable this past week was because he got a touchdown. And, I mean, it's just scary. I think Jonathan Stewart had 17 carries. Like, he's still getting a lot of the work.
Yeah,
it's
McCaffrey. Sorry, go ahead.
The receptions is what's saving McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's getting barely any handoffs. They still love to hand the ball to Jonathan Stewart. He's definitely still the goal line back. But, I mean, they drafted Christian McCaffrey in the first round. Eventually, they're going to have to turn it over to him, you would think.
Yeah, I think I actually read where Stewart was actually hurt, I think. I'm not sure what the extent is, but if McCaffrey's the sole guy back there, he's going to do great things.
And either way, in PPR, you gotta go McCaffrey. Yeah. In standard, you might want to lean towards Jonathan Stewart just because he's got that ability. You know, sometimes he may vulture something towards the end zone. He hasn't really been looking fantastic or like any kind of draft steal to me. And plus, you got Cam Newton, who's I think they're letting run a little bit finally. So, which is also helping everything else out. So, going forward, I think McCaffrey right now would be the best bet.
Yeah, I'm going McCaffrey as well. We're all agreeing this time.
It's an echo chamber.
I think I'm gonna go with Stewart. I just think the Panthers, for some reason, he
had 18 carries for 21 yards. I think I could just fall forward and average that.
Britt, you're like 5'4". Couldn't get that many yards.
You're 5'11". I'm 5'11".
Okay,
Britt, I'm a solid 6'1.5".
No, you're
Come measure me, bitch.
6'1", 140.
Wrong.
It's like 165.
165. Okay.
Oh, Matt, that was the sound drop I wanted that you just played. That was the one.
Wrong. You stupid.
Wrong.
Not that one.
Okay, I got one for you. That's kind of similar. Like moving forward, Mark Ingram. Since AP's gone, Ingram or Kamara? What do you think about that?
Give me Kamara all day.
I like Kamara's upside. Like, we know what Mark Ingram is. Let's not fool ourselves.
That's almost the same argument as the Jonathan Stewart, Christian McCaffrey as far as skill set there. But I just think the Panthers lean on Stewart more than the Saints lean on Ingram.
It's just like the Colts, though. Like, they've done the same. I mean, like, Frank Gore's been steady, but I feel like Marlon Mack is going to be the next guy to take over there. Yeah. But it's just Pagano just won't let him do it. It's the same thing with the Texans and Foreman. It's like these rookie running backs, they don't want them to get on the field. But like Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook, Fournette, these other rookies are having so much success.
In fairness, he's been out for the past couple of weeks. So more than Mac. He's been out for the past couple of weeks. So
he did have a big
Frank Gore still had I think 12 or 13 carries.
It was the fuck. They went to overtime and they were playing against San Francisco. Let's not get crazy here.
So barn burner.
Okay, now some wide receiver toss-ups. You going with the hot Devin Funchess versus the Philadelphia Eagles, or coming off a bye, Demaryius Thomas at home versus the Giants?
That's actually a pretty good question.
Yeah.
Funchess. He's taking over the wide receiver one.
But what's his face? Benjamin's still there. Kelvin, dude, he's a huge starter.
He had a touchdown too this week.
I just know Funchess though.
Funchess has been stepping up.
He has. It's just I don't believe in him just because he hasn't done it enough for me.
Funchess is stepping up, and he's got great stature, great physical build. I mean, he's kind of ridiculous. He looks kind of freakish.
This kind of scares me though. Demaryius Thomas, like his last good year was with Peyton Manning.
I think they're going to – here's the thing, though. I think I'm going to go with DT on this.
I'll say this as a Demaryius Thomas owner. I'm benching him for Hoagie from here on out.
Until
Hoagie proves me wrong there.
Hey,
I mean,
man,
Chris
you got
Hogan.
Spare. Let's make a deal.
Let's go. Who you got? Who you offering? Aaron Rodgers?
Yo.
Yeah, if you throw in Fournette.
Kiss my ass.
I just saw Funchess is averaging like 8 targets the past 4 games, and then with Demaryius Thomas, you don't know if it's going to be him or Emmanuel Sanders going off each week.
Sure, yeah.
Like one of them is going to go off, you just don't know which one.
But I mean, you still have Kelvin Benjamin to worry about for Funchess.
But like I said, he's averaging 8 targets the past 4 weeks. Like you can have Kelvin Benjamin there. If you give me 8 targets every week, I'm going to take it.
Demaryius Thomas is safe though. He's the Frank Gore of receivers. He's going to get around between 60 and 80 yards probably. It's just, is he going to add that touchdown?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, you can say that. I feel like just wide receivers in general this year are just been hit and miss unless you have a first-round pick.
Yeah, no, that's how I thought Hopkins was going to be too, though. Like his first 3 games, he kind of started off like that.
But he's a beast.
Yeah, no, Deshaun Watson came around.
The baby goat.
Ah.
Nah.
Yeah, 4 catches, 50 yards.
Go.
Okay, last wide receiver toss-up. 2 big play guys. Brandon Cooks at the New York Jets or Devontae Adams at the Minnesota Vikings?
Damn.
Adams all day. He's leading the league in red zone targets. And I think Jordy's a little hurt.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think I'm taking Adams.
Cooks, like we just said, Cook like hit or miss. That's how he's been.
Exactly.
And if
He's
Gronk
playing
comes
the
back
Jets,
too.
though.
I mean, let's be straight here. Chris Hogan is he's the shadow wide receiver 1 for the Patriots. Okay, if you haven't figured that out by now.
He's 7-11. He's always open.
I mean, seriously, he's legit number 1. Having said that, Cooks has the wide receiver 1 talent. So, I mean, and Devontae Adams has been looking pretty good so far. Jordy Nelson is right now, he is a glorified version of Eric Decker. So, with him out, you got to think Devontae Adams is probably actually going to look a little bit better, I think, this week. If he is out. But I think he's going to be taking – if he's in, he's going to be taking touchdowns. Okay, I'll put it this way. Jordy plays, I'm going with Cooks. Jordy doesn't play, I'm going with Adams.
Okay, so contingent on Jordy playing.
I'm actually the opposite. I want Jordy to play for Adams to do well. Because Minnesota is – I think they're top 5 against number 1 wide receivers, and they're like bottom 5 against number 2. So if Jordy's playing, he's their number 1. That means Adams is going to get more targets probably.
Interesting stuff.
And it says Brady did miss practice today due to an injury in his left shoulder.
Brady's playing.
Oh, I know he's playing, but
because he's the GOAT.
What was the point of bringing that up?
I'm just saying that's Brandon Cooks' quarterback.
But they still got a good backup there. So
that is true. I'd be bringing in Garoppolo right now. Let Tom have a little rest off.
Against the Jets, like they did with Gronk. Gronk could have played that game.
Probably suck off Garoppolo too, wouldn't you?
Not a bad-looking guy.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, so last segment. Before we hit the waiver wire, we're going to go over a quick Dropsville. And had some big injuries. There it is. Had some big injuries this week. Odell Beckham, shattered ankle. Done. Drop him. He did.
Ripperino.
The other Giants wide receiver, Brandon Marshall, if you still owned him.
Should have already dropped him.
Rest in peace, Giants.
If he was still on your team, he gone. Cut him. Last guy was he had gotten hot the last few weeks. Tight end Charles Clay. He's I think he had a knee scope procedure today, and he's going to be out at least for a few weeks. And he's just you don't hang on to a backup tight end on your bench when he's injured. You just can't really afford to do that. Especially a guy like Clay, who, I mean, he's not Gronk, he's not Kelsey. He's just a better than average tight end. You can afford to drop him.
He was involved with their passing game quite a bit, but I mean, yeah, I think he was tight end 4. I mean, I don't know if that's really saying much right now.
5 no.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's the top 3 are far and away, like way ahead of the other guys. Am I correct there, Matt?
Yeah, 50, 48, and 47.
You still got to say, I mean,
Charles Clay was 4.
He was definitely starting for somebody in your league.
I'm starting. I'm just saying he's a guy that you probably don't keep a roster spot for unless you just can absolutely afford it.
What's funny is there's still the number 5, 8, 9, and 10 ranked tight end available in our league.
It's just tight ends are so fucking crazy, dude. You have no idea.
It's really Russian roulette, pretty much.
So getting into the waiver wire, we talked about him quite a bit earlier, but if he's still available, Aaron Jones. I mean, we talked about, we don't know what his exact role is going to be when Ty Montgomery comes back, But he, if anything, is going to be a running back on one of the best teams in the league, and he's going to probably still get plenty of touches. So if he's still available, go pick him up. He should be owned in every league.
Yes.
What are the chances you think of Aaron Rodgers going up to coach and be like, hey, forget about Montgomery. Let this guy play.
If anything, Aaron Rodgers likes Montgomery. I'd be kind of, if I was Aaron Rodgers, saying, hey, can we stick him back in the slot and let Aaron Jones be the go-to back?
Yeah. Or maybe run a pro set.
Yeah.
If you have number one waiver, are you picking him up, or do you have someone else on your mind? Running back wise.
If Jones is available, I'm taking him.
He's the only guy I'd even consider if I had number one waiver
over
right
McKinnon.
Yeah,
that's okay. Yeah. That's if he's still on your waiver. Where after last week, he's probably not on the waiver. McKinnon right now is probably the most viable pickup this week.
Now they're both
top waiver wire spot.
They're both owned in our league already, but we're gonna. In fact, let's go to McKinnon right now. He had 16 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown, but. How long was that touchdown? He had like 70 yards or so, 60 yards.
I think
it was like 55.
He looked way better than Latavius Murray, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray's a bum right now.
Yeah, everybody that got him with that number one waiver pickup last week is definitely regretting that.
I mean, I came so close to picking up McKinnon on Sunday. Like, I almost pulled the trigger, but I just couldn't.
And was it McKinnon there when Adrian Peterson went down? Everybody picked up him, and then it was Matt Asiata getting all the touchdowns.
The vulture.
Yeah. I picked up – my team was very injury-riddled last year, and I started McKinnon probably like 8 times last year.
I mean, Asiata was just like – they're basically handing the ball off or giving touchdowns to a fucking lunch lady, okay? Like, what were they doing even handing him the ball? Putting him in the game. McKinnon, he did have a breakout game, I think, last year or the year before that, and then things kind of fell short, or he kind of fell flat the rest of the way. So, is this going to be history repeating itself, where he blows up in the first game, and then later on,
Yes.
I think so.
Also, another question: would you pick up him or Peterson?
I mean,
McKinnon.
I'm picking up Peterson.
McKinnon over Peterson. No.
You're taking Peterson over McKinnon?
McKinnon's had so many chances to take over.
He has. That's what I was trying to get at.
Peterson's been hurt. He had one good game just like Sunday. And then what do you do after that?
He's done, man.
You know, it's funny. Last year, week 4, McKinnon had 18 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown, 15 points. And then he had 4, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 7.
I picked him up after that 85-yard performance. Pretty sure I started him for those 4s and 3s and 2s.
And then the last week of the year, he comes up with 22 points.
I was way out of the playoffs by then.
Peterson's that guy that needs at least 10 carries a game for him to get going. And
no
one's going to cut into his carries in Arizona.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, not Chris Johnson.
See you later.
Drop. Peace.
Drop him.
Yeah, we didn't mention that, but if you still own Chris Johnson, he's no longer on a team. So
Cutsville, and we forgot to mention the Texans defense.
I was actually going to say that for the end, just because but we can talk about it now. I feel so bad for J.J. Watt just because everything he did for this city through Harvey, and the fact that he's going to miss another season with an injury is that's brutal.
I mean, you were talking about a guy who's possibly, even though, I mean, who knows if he plays another down in the NFL?
I think he'll be back.
He's for every bit of good that he's done on the field, he's done twice as much just as a human being, and you just feel for the guy.
Yeah.
The only thing I think he's coming back to, he's talked about retiring early in the past these last couple of years, but he doesn't want his last memory that everybody has of him on the football field, that he will come back just so he can play again.
When Deshaun Watson is in prime form.
And then
we win the
Super Bowl.
Let's not get too crazy.
Hey, can I mention another tragedy? Blake is 2-3 in our league. He's in 5th place, okay? He still has D'Angelo Williams. Not even a Pittsburgh running back.
Not only does he have D'Angelo
and
Williams,
an open bench spot.
He has
this kid wins. That's what's funny.
He was this close to knock me out of the unbeaten this week. If Kyle Rudolph didn't catch that touchdown in the third quarter, I would have lost to this kid. He's got D'Angelo Williams, who is unemployed. He's not even on a football team.
I forgot he existed until I saw a tweet of his about Adrian Peterson.
And guess who's on his team? He's got Dak Prescott quarterback, Ezekiel Elliott running back, Gio Bernard Cincinnati, AJ Green Cincinnati, and Doug Baldwin Seattle. What do they all have in common? They're all on their bye week.
Oh, no, black?
I thought you were baiting. Yeah, I thought you were baiting me into something there.
Oh no, they're black, Matt. Come on, this is a racial friendly shit.
We love all races.
Typical libtard.
Yes. All lives matter.
But as we were getting at, not only does he still have D'Angelo Williams, but like Britt said, he's had an open roster spot the whole year from drafting Spencer Ware when he was injured. So
God bless.
But this kid wins. He's made the playoffs 2 years in a row.
God bless.
He's Rain Man. Let's get back to the waiver wire for running backs, and he might still be owned, but probably a lot of people dropped him after the last few weeks. But Buck Allen, who we talked about a little bit, he had 21 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. Terrence West is done in Baltimore. You don't have to worry about him cutting into it anymore. It's basically just Buck Allen versus Alex Collins now. So
Rip.
Buck Allen, I think, he's gonna get the volume moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Collins showed some splashes of potential, but I mean, the volume is just there for Buck Allen. You got to stay with him.
I'm gonna say Collins. Actually, if he can hold on to the ball moving forward, which is kind of a big if, because I mean, Jesus, he's had 2 fumbles and like 26 carries or something like that.
You can't be doing that trying to take over a role.
I mean, he made a conscious effort last week against the Raiders. But I'm saying moving forward, I think they're going to trust him more and more because he's obviously the most explosive player they have for offense right now.
Matt, how do you feel about Buck Allen moving forward, Matt?
Kind of with Ethan on this one. I'm a little nervous about Alex Collins eating into his carries, but he's the pass catching back, which he's always going to get those touches. But if Collins still holds on to the ball, I think he's going to take over towards the end. Plus, they did sign Bobby Rainey. Not that I'm worried about him, but just to throw that out there.
Bobby Rainey.
Are you starting Buck Allen this week instead of the Crow?
Looks like he is.
He is above the Crow. I'm debating on him and Kamara. I might lean Kamara.
Ooh, I forgot you had Kamara.
Yeah.
Kamara.
I think I'm still going Buck Allen.
Ooh, with Peterson out, I'm definitely going Kamara.
Kamara's looking like a flex the rest of the way. Easy.
Yeah, I'm a big Kamara fan.
Yeah. I actually have a triple toss-up. It's Buck Allen, Kamara, or LeGarrette Blount.
This is a question for your team?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Matt calling in. Matt, what's your question?
Yeah.
What happened to our callers, man?
I also need to pick up a quarterback.
Oh, yeah, you do need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, you want Mariota?
We'll talk after.
All right.
But no.
Kinky.
Hey, do we have anybody watching the stream?
Hell no.
Yeah, some guy came in and was promoting his video game, and I fucking banned his ass. So.
Damn, harsh.
Later.
All right, we're going to get to our weekly New York Giants running back waiver wire segment. So Orleans Darkwa had 8 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. Or Wayne Gallman, who had 11 carries and 5 catches, so 16 total touches.
You know who I want?
Who?
You know who I want?
Who?
Neither.
Gun to your head. You have to pick one.
I gotta pick
Give
one.
me Gallman.
I
I don't want to take him, though.
Someone's
If
got
you're
you
healthy,
in Dark
Darkwa.
Alley, and they're telling you, I'm going to fucking kill you unless you pick up one of these Giants running backs. Who you going with?
Oh, Jesus. I would try to debate for a Russian roulette situation.
Jesus Christ.
I'll pick up Peyton Hillis.
Hey, you can put him on Blake's bench. He's got a spot.
That's true.
Damn.
Darkwa. Darkwa, I guess.
Yeah, I think Darkwa too, but like
I'll
We've
take
seen
Gallman.
Darkwa before, though.
We've
We
seen
know
this
what he
Giants team
is.
before.
Okay.
Are they going to be running the ball more though with no healthy wide receivers?
They're gonna have to.
I think they're actually trying to pull Randy Moss out of retirement from the
I did see
right
where like T.O. and Ocho Cinco were contacted. I still think they can ball, but we don't.
That's total pub stunt right there, man.
It would be funny though.
That would be awesome.
Can we talk about another like a legit running back right now? Just real quick, because I gotta. What's the word? I gotta get this taste out of my mouth. This fucking
Who we got?
Marlon Mack.
Yeah, he was last on my list, dude.
Oh well, it's like.
Well, he was next. He was next, anyways. So yeah, Marlon Mack, 9 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. Is he pushing Frank Gore out of Indy?
Yes, it'll happen. It's going to happen right now. I mean, he's kind of low. If you look at the projected score for Marlon Mack right now, he's got 5 points sitting there. I know they got Minnesota, I believe, don't they?
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay, then why does he only have 5 points? It's just like this guy. Moving forward, if you've got all your players, you know all your running backs are, or even if they're not on bye or they're off a bye or whatever, like put this guy in your roster or not in your roster, but just kind of stash him away. It's going to pay off. Bet.
I think it will, but I just don't trust Chuck Pagano. Like, I still think Gore's going to get carries, and he's never going to be like the all-down back.
Pagano said he earned himself more touches, so I'm taking Mack over any New York running back.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
stashing him, though, like Ethan said.
Dude, this guy, I think this guy has really good instincts running the ball. He has, it looks like he has one speed and it's all systems go. Just boom, let's go.
I think when Andrew Luck comes back, too, that could be when he takes off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get to our wide receivers. Now, we've talked about him already, and this production is not going to last as far as the touchdowns, but I expect the catches and the yardage to go up, and that's Will Fuller, the 5th. He's got, like we said, 5 catches in 2 games, but 4 of them have been touchdowns. I don't know necessarily if you'd be starting him, but I think he's definitely a must-own.
Will Fuller, 5th of his name.
Now Britt has to start him because his team is garbage. But
I didn't want to start him last week. That was just what I was about to say. But luckily, he came through, and I was able to pull out a win by 3 points.
Needed both of those touchdowns.
I mean, okay. What's his season? What is he on? I mean, I know we don't like playing on track guy here, but what is it like? 28 receptions for 24 touchdowns he's on track for? Something like that? Yeah, not going to happen the rest of the season, bro.
But if it did.
But I will say this. I think he's a good he's a good option if you got people on bye. I wouldn't feel bad about putting him in the flex at times. I think he's definitely worth a spot somewhere on your roster.
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun Watson trusts him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something to be said for that.
For some reason, he does.
He looks at him in the end zone.
I mean,
that'd be about the last place I'd look, but yeah.
He's the fuck it receiver. He's the receiver that Deshaun Watson says, "Oh fuck it," and then throws it at him.
He's the guy. I'm about to get sacked. Let me just chunk it 50 yards to that guy with the dreads downfield.
Yeah, I think he grew hands while he was nursing that dog too.
He's actually been making some pretty nice catches. So kudos.
Okay, the rest of these wide receivers, it's always trouble to find wide receivers on the waiver wire just because, like we talked about, wide receivers are just not very good this year. But the next guy I've written down is playing for a hot team and a hot quarterback, and that's Nelson Aguilar, who had 4 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown. I believe now the touchdown he did have, I only caught a snippet of the games on Sunday, but if I remember correctly, it was a pretty long touchdown. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, 72 yards.
Yeah, very similar to his Week 1 performance.
Yeah, you're rolling the dice playing Aguilar. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have a good matchup, you know, Carson Wentz is going to sling it. So, I mean, decent chance he'll get in on the action, but like you said, it's just hit or miss with him.
What if I told you right now that Nelson Aguilar is currently sitting as the number 13 wide receiver in standard?
13?
I'd say it's got to be week 5.
It's so similar to tight ends, I feel like.
Yeah, there just hadn't been that enough volume to see who's going to be like shine every week.
It's been really funny because normally I'm kind of like, okay, I know I can find a wide receiver on the waiver wire, and I can live with that. That I can live with. It'll produce. And this year it's been the opposite. I think like it feels like the NFL is shifting more towards or more back to like running backs having the star power versus this being a wide. Remember a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, that big.
It was a wide receiver meta, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got like top 10 picks wide receivers.
It just goes in cycles. About every 5 or 6 years, the defenses learn. They go back to the other position. Then they start feasting on them, and it cycles again.
Yeah. So
it's like who they draft too. They draft like the larger players to start the run, and then they draft the faster ones to stop the pass. It's just like a cycle that keeps going back and forth.
So it has, I guess, waned back to where this is a stronger running back league, I guess. So wide receivers are at a major premium right now.
I also think quarterbacks are throwing to more wide receivers than they usually do. They're not just focusing on that number one wide receiver.
Good point.
Yeah, it's really spread out.
Good point.
Okay, these last 3 guys on my wide receiver list are all kind of big play guys. So you kind of give me your pick of these 3. We got Torrey Smith, who had 3 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. Mike Wallace, who had 3 catches for 133 yards. Or Marquise Goodwin for San Francisco, getting 5 catches for 116 yards. Who do you like out of those 3? Or if any of them?
I like Smith, but not the Torrey Smith. The Juju Smith. Because I don't trust any of those you just said.
What did Juju do?
4 of 6 for 58 yards. But I
think all these other guys said better.
Listen, I just wanted to say his name.
Are you gonna Juju on that beat?
I'm not. I actually have one wide receiver that I was gonna throw out if we can just skip over all these real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Sterling Shepard, if he's still available.
I mean,
yeah, coming off that 1 catch, 9-yard game.
No, I think he's the only healthy. He's the only healthy wide receiver they have now.
I think Evan Ingram's going to have a bigger role too.
Yeah,
Sterling Shepard is probably still owned though in your league because he's still he's a top 15 receiver, right?
No, I don't think he's 26.
Yeah, he's not that high.
Oh, I thought he was still up that high.
He had 1 game of 133 yards and a touchdown. That's it. He hasn't scored over 6.
If he's healthy, he's the man.
He's going to have to be.
Somebody's got to catch the ball.
Somebody's got to. But still, no Odell. Eli, no good.
Let's go to some tight ends. If you're looking for a tight end, maybe provide a little stability to that position. We had Ed Dixon go off for 5 catches for 175 yards.
Who saw that? Really?
I mean, with Greg Olsen out, is that a viable starter?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a top 10.
I think people will be game planning for him now and realizing that, yes, Carolina does have another weapon. So, but with that said, I think that he's as good as any. But
Cam Newton definitely looks his way.
Yeah. So, I'd say, why not? What else you got to lose?
I mean, another guy is Cameron Brate. I think he's been one of the more consistent tight ends. He's number 5 right now. And, I mean, Jameis is going to find him in the end zone. He's had touchdowns the past 3 weeks.
Somebody's got Cameron Brate already, though, right?
Not in our league.
He's available in our league.
Come on.
He had 5 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. But like we said, I mean, the reason he's not owned is because it's a fucking tight end and you just don't know.
He's owned in 52% of leagues.
He seems pretty stable as far as tight ends go these days, though.
I just don't see how he could be owned in any 10-man league and above.
Because some of us got Jimmy Graham, okay?
He
He did have a touchdown.
did.
Have you seen Kyle Rudolph, Ethan? Come on.
Have you seen Gronkowski? Oh, he didn't play this week. Never mind.
Okay, last tight end is George Kittle for the San Francisco 49ers. 7 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown. And maybe becoming a favorite target of Hoyer?
Not buying it.
He had some preseason hype from Adam Schefter, if you take that for anything.
He's playing at
take it with a
Washington,
grain of salt.
so yeah.
What does that
That was
mean?
at Indianapolis. Washington is a good defense.
Do they?
Yeah. Top 10 scoring.
For fantasy?
I believe so.
Okay. That doesn't always translate to a
They're
good
number
real life.
12, damn it.
I have no comment on Kittle other than he is probably. I mean, just if you feel good about him, just take him. If your tight end situation looks like shit, why not take a flyer? You don't got top 3 guys. It's roulette.
I actually like the Njoku guy for the Browns.
I mean, he's just. I think this kind of summed up the tight ends for the entire fantasy year. Is just you just don't know. No comment.
Pretty much streaming them every week unless you have the top 3.
Yeah, Gronkowski, Ertz, and Kelsey.
Like I said last week, though, if you already own one of these middle of the pack tight ends, I would just stick with him because what you're going to do is you're going to drop him and then he's going to go off and you're going to pick up the wrong guy every week. No one's going to go off 2 weeks in a row. It's just going to be hard.
Man, I'm telling you, man, that 26 pick of Gronk is looking better and better. Well,
when he plays,
he's going to play, dude. That they hold him out against Tampa Bay. That was by design.
And for the first time all season, we have a kicker making the waiver wire.
What?
Jesus Christ.
The kicker on the number 1 team in the league, Harrison Butker. He has started 2 games since Cairo Santos was cut with an injury, and he's averaging 16 points per game in your standard league. And, I mean, it's always nice to have the kicker on the best team.
Brett can tell you all about Butker.
I bet he gets under 10 this week.
You're betting on a kicker.
You're damn right. You said he's averaging 16.
How many points did he get this week, Brett?
Shove it up your ass.
Wait, Matt, how many points? There it is. Yeah. Okay, that wraps up the waiver wire.
I have one more kicker. What about Zane Gonzalez?
Dude, come on, man.
That's too far.
Dude, you're gonna throw
It's
our
all
hometown
jokes.
guy under the bus like that? Come on, man.
It's all jokes.
Actually,
It's all
Buckner
jokes.
Park, so.
Whoa. Just because your dad couldn't coach, man.
Oh. Shots
Yeah,
fired.
got fired from State Farm.
He didn't get fired, okay?
My dad can beat up your dad. Wah.
He retired.
Just like last week, I think we're getting off track again.
So
We're chilling, man. We're chilling.
before,
I got a question.
okay.
Okay, so I need to start 2. I got Christian McCaffrey, Will Fuller, and Tevin Coleman.
I think McCaffrey for sure. God, I don't know what those other 2.
I'm saying Coleman.
I have to start Will Fuller.
I lean running backs for the floor.
I'm so glad that I wouldn't have to start any 3 of those. They would just be riding the pine for my team.
I mean, Coleman, I think, is – you can just stick him in the flex. I think he's got that kind of value week in and week out.
So take out Will Fuller? I mean, I do have Martavius Bryant, but I'm having a hunch about him at Kansas City. Like, they have the second worst pass defense.
I mean,
I think Big Ben's going to find it this week.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Big Ben. I was pretty close to putting him on Dropsville this week. He is, I think, the 24th ranked quarterback, and that's the only reason I didn't is because I believe that they'll eventually get that passing game going. They always do, but he's looked terrible.
He hasn't looked near as sharp. He does not look right, and it's really sad because I have Martavius Bryant, my boy, And it's just they can't connect, and it's really disappointing.
I think he's overthrown Martavis about 3 times already, where just like 2 feet shorter, and he gets the 70-yard bomb each time.
Yeah, they're just not. I mean, and it's got to be Big Ben, right? So
I think they're going to bounce back this weekend. They're going to take down Kansas City.
I would say proceed with caution.
Okay, so that kind of wraps up the waiver wire. Anything else any closing thoughts from anyone? Anything good?
Oh, yeah. Fantastic week.
I had a good time in Mexico. I didn't get
yeah, you made it back.
Did you hit that
the nut button?
You already know.
So
you know how base made it.
Cartel determined you weren't worth it, or what?
No, they didn't look at me.
I was legitimately afraid. I even told you at work. I was legitimately scared for Britt because he's the most American-looking dude. Probably he's probably the most kidnappable person. Looks-wise. So, but glad you're back.
We were safe.
But outside that, what about the Astros?
Very wide. Astros heading to that ALCS, man.
Later, Beanstown.
That was a great game.
World Series champs, book it.
Okay.
I was just so scared when they brought in Verlander and he fucking gave up that home run.
That was a bad move.
I don't know why they brought him in the middle of the inning. Like, I would have started him off with a fresh inning.
Alex fucking Bregman.
Yeah, dude. That dude's got some nuts on him.
He owns Chris Sale.
Cold-blooded.
Okay, I think that wraps it up. Fantasy and Chill Week 6. A lot of fantasy, a little chill. Yeah. Come back next week. Later.
Jello Beats, holla at me.
You stupid. You stupid. What's 9 plus 10? 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 You stupid. You stupid. You stupid. You stupid. You stupid.